Hey everybody, it's Aaron at Warmoth, and today I am going to run down all of Warmoth's neck-back profiles, so stick around. This is a video that a lot of people have asked for, and I'm finally going to do it. But before I do, I want you to take a second, check out this cool new Warmoth t-shirt designed by yours truly. Brand new for 2022. They're available for sale right now on the website. I'll put a link in the description. Also, new for 2022, we got groovy Warmoth guitar picks in an array of colors. You get a dozen picks in a whole bunch of different colors. My favorite is the glow-in-the-dark pick, but they're all really cool. These are also available for sale on the website, and I'll link to them in the description. But yeah, neck-back profiles. Like I said, I get asked about this a lot. It's a video that I want to do, but it's kind of tricky to do. Talking about neck-back profiles in a video is difficult for a number of reasons. First, because the difference between some of these profiles is very subtle. It's hard to really talk about it. You have to kind of get your hands on it, you know, and feel the subtle differences. Number two is that the way the neck-back profile feels can change pretty drastically depending on the nut width that you pick. For example, you know, a certain neck-back profile might feel too fat with a 1 11/16" nut width. But if you get a 1 5/8" nut width, then it feels great. And lastly, neck-back profiles are very personal. What works for me might not work for you, or vice versa. You know, something that I hate, and there are some of these that I hate, it might be perfect for you. But anyway, all that said, I'm going to give you my opinion. Hopefully my experience will be able to, you know, give you the info you need to make a good choice. So first up is the standard thin, and this is our neck-back profile that is probably closest to Fender's modern C profile, and this is our best-selling profile by far. A lot of people kind of want to shy away from the standard thin because it seems like the common choice, but it's that for a reason, because it works for so many people. We sell so many of these standard thin profiles. My experience with it, I love it. I love it in a 1 11/16. 1 6/50 nut width, I love it. 1 5/8, it starts to feel a little smallish for me. But if you don't know where to start with Warmoth neck profiles, consider the standard thin. It is like the neutral choice. It works for the most amount of people. Next up, we have Warmoth's most massive pair of necks. The first one is the Fatback, and it is appropriately named. This neck is Mammoth. The thickness front to back on this is 1 inch all the way down. There's no taper at all, and it is huge. If you like huge necks, consider this, and it may even be too huge for you. It's gigantic. Of course, I feel that way because I'm kind of a small guy with smaller hands, but if you enjoy big necks, this is the neck for you. It's a very rounded profile, and again, 1 inch all the way down. The other big neck that we have is the Boatneck, and it's the same dimensions, 1 inch all the way down. The difference is it's much smaller in the shoulders, much more tapered in the shoulders. It's almost kind of a very soft V feel to it. If you like thick necks, but you want to feel like you can get your fingers around it a little bit easier, then the Boatneck is the neck to consider. But again, it's a big neck. Next up is the 59 Roundback, and I like to think of this kind of as a smaller, more manageable Fatback. It's got that same nice rounded shape, but it's just a smaller dimension overall. It goes from 860 to 960, so it's got a little bit of a taper. It's a little bit smaller. It's still too big for me with a 1 11/16" nut width, but with 1 5/8" nut width, it is money. I would almost compare it to like a PRS DGT profile, when you get it with that 1 5/8" nut width. It feels kind of the same to me. Not exactly, but in the same ballpark. This is our second most popular selling neck. For that reason, a lot of people just really like the size and the shape of it. Yeah, so that's 59 Roundback. Next up is the Clapton profile, which is a very well-known V shape. If you were to take and just shave that V right off, it would essentially be like a Warmoth standard thin, but that V gives it a little bit of extra thickness. It goes from 850 to 940, I believe. If you like V-necks, this is pretty much the most popular V-shaped neck out there. I do not like V-necks at all. I wear a lot of V-neck t-shirts, but V-neck profile is not my jam. And I just noticed this one also has an unusual neck heel. This is the 3-bolt micro tilt, which we don't do very often. This must have been a customer return that ended up in our showcase. I just figured I would point that out because we don't have these come around very often anymore. So there, you can see what one looks like. Next up is the Wizard profile. This one goes from 750 to 820. And it is kind of the stereotypical shredder's neck, but don't let that dissuade you if you like the dimensions. You can also play country and R&B and maybe even some reggae on this neck. It doesn't have to be shred. It's our thinnest profile. It's almost kind of flat feeling on the back. If you've ever played, an Ibanez from the 80s, you have probably felt a profile very similar to this. So yeah, that is the Wizard. I think this is probably more popular with wider nut widths, like a 1 11/16 with a Wizard profile. Just seems like a very typical combination for this neck. But anyway, that is the Wizard profile. So next up are our two asymmetrical profile necks. And if you're not familiar with the theory behind that, basically what it is a neck that is not symmetrically rounded on the back. It's fatter on the palm side and more tapered on the finger side of the neck. The idea being that you can get your fingers around it a little bit more easier, but it still feels nice and substantial in your palm. And Warmoth offers two asymmetrical profile necks. The first one is the SRV profile. And if you generally like fatter necks, this would be the one that you would probably want to check out first. Man, I love the asymmetrical necks. They're where it's at for me. This one has a 1 11/16 profile and a 1 11/16 nut width, and it just feels great. The dimensions for this one, I had to check my cheat notes real quick, are 835 to 970, whereas the Wolfgang, which is our other asymmetrical profile, goes from 815 to 940. And this one, this is my favorite profile that we offer, the Wolfgang, and I particularly like it with a 1/650 nut width. I have a couple personal guitars that I got the Wolfgang on with a 1 5/8" nut width, but that was before we started offering the 1/650 option. Now that we do, that is the money spot for me. A Wolfgang profile with 1/650 nut width is perfect for my tastes. And again, it's just a little fatter on the palm side, a little more tapered on the finger side, so it's easy to fret chords, get your fingers around there, but it still feels nice and beefy in the palm of your hand. I play with my thumb flopped over a lot, and I just like the way that feels. And that's it. Those are Warmoth's neck back profiles. Hopefully I've given you some good information to help you make the best choice for you. Tell me in the comments which neck back profiles you've tried and liked or disliked. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. And if you have any more questions, make sure and check out the Warmoth website where we have more descriptions of these profiles. We have the dimensions and hopefully you can get all the information you need there. If you still have questions, make sure and give our customer service reps a call. They are the experts when it comes to all this kind of stuff. And until next time, keep on picking.